Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 0 of D&D With The Boys.
We're the boys.
Yes, today I have
We're the boys.
my fellow players here.
Your boys.
My boys. My name is Ryan. I am the DM of this campaign. And to my left, I have Chance.
Hey,
It's fine.
how's it going?
And
Fellas.
in front of me, I have Caleb.
An ambiguously brown man.
And then to my right, I have Derek.
I'm Derek.
You fucking white
I'm
privileged
Gas.
fucking
I'm Derek.
We have to get to that later.
you white
They'll-
cis privileged
Chance.
Chance.
This is a really strong start.
Should I cut this? I don't know. Oh.
Do I have to battle you for that?
You don't have the wait, no, oh shit.
As you may be able to hear,
Yes, he does.
This is not.
You just said we had it.
As you may
That's it. The podcast is done. Have a good night, folks, and we'll see you next week.
As you may be able to
We're a
hear,
gang of 4 people, 2 hoppas, 2 whites.
there is a non-serious tone to this this D&D cast.
If you're into that kind of thing.
So, join us as I explain the world that we all play in. This campaign is set in my own homebrew nation of Voros. It is a nation made up of 8 distinct regions. Every region has their own laws, rules, military, and each are under fealty to the Council of Zerosos in the Cantris region. Which is the central political region for the whole nation. Chance. The diverse landscape and size of Voros and its regions allow the nation to have almost every climate and biome known to man. From the scorched sands of Varukai, the halcyon soils of Kalangar, the long mire of the Bloodmoor,
God, Chance.
the tropical islands of Cathacia,
that's
or
my
the
bad.
frozen revenant tundras of northern Farron. And it is unknown to the people of Voros what lies beyond the oceans. Any who have sailed to find other lands, to the beyond, have never returned.
Damn.
I'd like to introduce our characters now. So who would like to go first?
Okay, so
Alright, Chance, your character.
We'll
Let's
go on
start.
a line, I guess.
my character is a level 4 ranger warforged named Koresh.
With a Q.
With a
With
Q.
an apostrophe somewhere in there.
A couple of apostrophes. It's a little bit of nonsense. Doesn't remember a whole lot of his life before
Doesn't
being
afraid of anything.
before
Afraid of
being
anything.
picked up by these 2 characters over here.
Driving
He
the
is
fake taxi.
driving the fake taxi.
What?
He is just going along for the ride, trying to find out who he is, trying to remember what he is. There have
Did he
been
lose his
tidbits. He lost his memory.
All right.
There have been tidbits here and there, but that's really all we are allowed to give out right now. You'll find out later.
Do you have any?
If you are foolish enough to continue.
Do you have any interesting items you've gathered on your journey,
Uh,
or interesting bonds, flaws, things that you want like to reveal to our audience?
I've got some Ankeg chitons,
Okay.
a little wooden
He still
god,
hasn't made armor out of
a little wooden god statuette, some pearls.
As an aside, we are starting this podcast in the middle of a campaign, so some of the items and things that these characters have done have been previously in our personal campaign, in our personal sessions. So things that they've acquired, don't worry, we can explain them if you have questions.
We're probably going to forget some things.
We're going to forget
So
a
they-
lot of things.
They started at level 1 and they're already level 4 at this point.
Well, I didn't start at level 1. I woke up at 3.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, they started at lower levels and now they're at level 4. So this is the middle of a podcast, or middle of a campaign, this podcast, but this is the way we're going to do it.
I'm just gonna go next. I am a real human Caleb, and D&D character. My name is Adagio Einsicham. Those are musical terms for which I have completely forgotten what they mean. I just looked them up because the internet is a resource. We're all level 4.
Yes.
I am a tiefling bard, and I do not have barbed foreskin.
All right.
I've never
But
asked
you do have purple skin.
I've never.
I
actually
am purple.
I've never actually asked that question before. I'm glad you answered that.
Okay.
An adagio is something performed in slow tempo. The beautiful
Temple? Temple or tempo?
Tempo.
Just like last night.
The beautiful adagio ending of the piece was just too loud.
Just like last night in the game.
Okay.
Or a couple nights
Anything
ago.
Sing-
more about Adagio? That
Okay,
could be it.
let's. I'll give as much of the backstory as I can. Okay, so Adagio
It's a filthy mudblood faggot.
Ow.
Watch your profanity.
Yikes.
Okay, so Adagio is from a desert tribe in the previously mentioned region of Voros in the Sunset Plateaus.
I'm scared to go back anymore.
As an aside, again, I have the map posted on our Twitter, so you can cross-reference these locations with the map online.
Hello, can you hear me?
Probably not.
Can I finish? Backstory. One day Adagio's parents are rummaging through random scrolls and...
You are nomads, correct?
We are nomads. We're desert nomads. We're the guys from the Mummy.
Random
scrotums.
You guys are awesome.
We're like those guys if they weren't as cool.
They weren't
They're
as
a tribe of humans, by the way.
Yes.
So anyways, they're rummaging through their supplies and they come across some maps leading them to a long-forgotten Temple of Osiris. Now, these people, these nomads, they don't like being nomads. It's just the life that they were born into. So they go to this Temple of Osiris. They pray to Osiris saying, okay, we need something to make our lives better. And Osiris is just like, I guess. And he was like, all right, you now have a magical seed, and the next kid you make is gonna save you from whatever disaster you think is happening to you. What are you doing? Okay.
Whatever perceived disaster you believe will
Okay.
come.
All right.
And then no, there's more. There's a part 2. The child is born. The child is Adagio, and he has the ability with his beautiful baritone voice and his
To
ability.
leap tall bounds on a single
And his
building.
ability to play woodwind instruments such as the recorder. He can use this music and what did I write here? It taps into the echoes of the words of creation because that's what it says in the player's handbook. He does that and can create oases for the nomads to live in. So now they've gone from being poor desert nomads to prosperous oasis nomads. And then one day, Adagio,
village.
one day in the caravan, one day in the yurts, in the yard, he is sleeping, this Adagio, and he has a vision of fire and destruction, a vision given to him by Osiris. And Adagio decides, I've got to go stop this. I don't know what to do though. I'm going to go to the central government and see if they know anything. And
This is taking too long.
and Derek, you're next.
Do you know how to do anything
what's
other
something
than a
about
run-on
Adagio?
sentence?
Something about how you roleplay Adagio or things.
This is why we should have rehearsed this. I rehearsed my part.
Things that Adagio does,
bit.
or his personality, or
So the-
items he has
super
that
chill.
are interesting.
Okay, so in terms of personality, what I've decided to base Adagio off of is that Amish teenagers, when they get that, like, I think it's like 6 weeks or something like that, a 6-week long period where they're allowed to leave
The fold.
they're allowed to leave the fold and go into the real world for a minute, and
One
sometimes
single minute.
and sometimes they become complete degenerates, and that is the direction Adagio is headed.
No, degens.
In terms of
But he is very connected to the natural world, is he not?
and he loves nature. He is a complete dick.
Vegan?
He is a dick vegan.
What's his catchphrase now?
By any means necessary. In terms of interesting items, I have a rapier. It's a +1 rapier where the guard and the handle is in the shape of an ankh. I have a pungi, which is the snake charmer's little pipe thing,
Instrument?
retrofitted into a blowpipe.
You ever used the
I have not
blowpipe?
used that before.
I did in the beginning.
Oh.
And then I've got a couple magical items.
And who do you have on your shoulder?
Yes, I have.
Little demon version of you.
I have. No, I'm a tiefling. I am the demon version of me.
Oh.
What I have on my shoulder is something that I got from our first one-off. It is a rat. It is
fucking rat bastard.
It is a rat. It is a rat named Buttercup. I frequently use speak with animals and speak with my rat named Buttercup. It is a very large rat, but it's not so large as to be called giant.
And it's a she.
And it is a she.
There you go.
And it eats of my rations.
She eats, right?
It
Okay.
It does not like to be labeled.
Oh.
Okay. And lastly,
Oh, my turn. Here we go.
Derek, your character.
All right, I play
Mr. Gas.
Murphy Smelting Ball, the
I sound like Captain
wild
Dickhead.
magic gnome sorcerer,
AKA just Smelting Ball.
aka just Smelting Ball, because he doesn't like his first two names.
That's his Instagram handle.
AKA at Smelting Ball.
No, it's just smelting ball.
Just smelting
Something
ball.
humble, but also calling attention to yourself.
All right. So
Shut up!
He hails from an underground village, underground town called Stingledon at the foothills of a mountain range. In northeastern, was it?
Kalingar.
Kalingar, that's what it is. I was a Kundrakar for some reason.
Don't my stomach.
So the ancestors of this town created the beginnings of this as a way of escaping from monsters and bandits back in their day. And as part of their tradition, part of their fear, they do not go to the outside world. They're just stuck down there, surviving off of like moles and small creatures that hang out in the underground, and subsisting off what little plants they can grow down there, like mushrooms and various underground plants. So, Smelting Ball was born into a family of toysmiths. He did not share the same views as the rest of his townsfolk. He wanted to go out. He wanted to go to the surface. He wanted to experience the world.
He hated Christmas.
Didn't have Christmas in Dingleton.
They're gnomes that make toys.
That's just all they do.
Wait, so you were underground and you were working on things?
Yeah. So his difference in opinion led him to be either bullied and not quite ostracized, but sort of not paid much attention to. The only person that he ever cared about him a lot was his older sister Drenna. So he spent a good portion. He grew up in this environment until eventually a strange hooded figure appeared in his room one night
A strange hood figure.
and offered him the
Is that a foreskin joke?
Offered him the power that would allow him to survive on the surface.
With Suge Knight.
Yeah.
With him being as naive as he was, he accepted it, and found he had now had magic powers. So he would, over the next few months, he would sneak out with these powers and practice them out on various creatures out in the woods. Until eventually, one particular night, his sister heard him leave and followed him out, aiming to try to bring him back into the village. As she startled him, he immediately blasted fire in that direction and severely burned half of her face. At that moment, the hooded figure returned, introduced himself as a Ringdosh, and Smelting Ball believes him to be some kind of devil or demon. At that point, they had to go back to the village. They had to explain themselves, or he had to explain himself. He was banished for conspiring with this creature, and Drenna gave him a metal flower pendant to remember her and the village by. So he just spent the last year or so traveling around.
And met up with Adagio.
Yeah, traveling around trying to just experience the world in general.
And another...
And there was one point in time where I have been known to be gas.
Yeah, you've been known to be a gas.
I'm gas.
And then
No. Say exactly how you describe yourself.
I'm gas.
Gas.
So, as another aside, I guess.
We also have a genie lamp.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we
We
do.
have a genie lamp from a
Kubal,
Cabal the Elegant. He's a cool guy.
the fat
He gave him
fucking
some reed
fish.
pipes. He gave Adagio some reed pipes that he hasn't used yet.
No,
He's your black market Aquan enchanted salesman.
It wasn't. He did not give them to me. We gambled on them. We did. We all played rock paper scissors for him, right?
Yeah, and
And
you
I
won.
won.
You-
I won fairly, and now I have pipes to the sewer, which you can find in.
Don't you have a ring of luck?
The Dungeon Master's Guide.
It's part of my turban.
Yeah. So that means a little bit of meddling. A little bit of meddling in there.
What?
I was gonna say, as
We
an
didn't
aside,
do D20 rolls.
to Chance's character Koresh,
Yeah.
he
Howdy.
knows that the Warforged are created to obviously fight in some sort of war, and he knows that,
In this setting.
well, yeah, in my homebrew setting, and that there is a war going on between orcs in the northwest.
Snorks.
Against
Yeah,
these
snorks.
The snow orcs.
Snow orcs.
The snorks.
Snorks. That's
And
the
he's
colloquial
trying to
term.
find why, like, he lost a lot of his memory.
It's a racist term.
His memory core was
Fuck the
seemingly,
Snorks.
possibly purposefully destroyed or removed,
Dude, I'm like a black girl now.
and
Which
that's
was
his
your
goal.
become chance.
And as an aside to your aside,
Aside.
Koresh is lacquered.
Yes. His wood is
Made of wood.
He's got a beautiful wood veneer finish.
So after that, our adventurers started their journey.
Our adventure, if you would.
Our adventurers started their adventure. They were given a task by the Zorosos Council of the Cantris region. They were tasked in finding both a magical gemstone, a ruby in this case, and also an ancient teleportation gate created by Dragonborn precursors thousands of years ago. Dragonborn seemed to call Voros home before the other races arrived here, from origins unknown today. The Council has always struggled in teleportation magic, and none have mastered it in Voros since these ancient Dragonborn society. The Council wants brave travelers to seek out, activate, and use these portals as a way to travel between the regions quickly, which the government can then monetize and circulate some coin back into their industry. They want to monetize it open it up to the public as a quick transportation method. So the destination was the newly resettled island chain of Cathacia. Our party found two factions of tribal humans living there, deemed the cannibal tribe evil, and slayed their leader. Made a deal with a Sahuagin general in order to... They kind of
killed themselves, kind of.
Yeah. Made a deal with a Sahuagin general in order to stop their invasion on the people living here.
Did we solve that? I forget.
You did not.
Correct.
Hell yeah.
We kind of did, didn't we? Didn't we tell
the peace deal would not last long, as something else threatened the lives of the non-tribal settlers in Cathacia. An avatar of the tribal god Paptakele was summoned due to the god's anger with the mainlanders' destruction of the nature in the region. The party was able to have a battle of words, much to the chagrin of the DM who wanted a cool boss fight.
Hell yeah!
Man, I only have fire magic. I wasn't gonna do that.
I am the silver tongue in more ways than one.
Silver tongue.
And they were able to they were able to calm the avatar of the god's rage.
He's like, you'll be
What was his name?
Paptakele.
No, the avatar of the god. Lothberg.
Lothberg.
Yeah. Those fucking Dark Souls.
In return, however, the mainlander settlers, the non-tribals, living there would be given only 1 year to leave the islands, or else the volcano would explode again, as it did before, and the Avatar of Rage will return and be out for blood.
Fuck shit up.
Fucking destroy things.
So, the party found the Verovian ruby that the council wanted in the cannibal tribe, her name was, the cannibal tribe, the Sharashami.
The Amazonias mummy.
The leader's staff was the ruby. They also found the teleportation gate in the ruins under the city of Eladir. They went through and found themselves through an opposite gate in a nexus of other connected gates around Voros, back where they expected in the council's palace. The other side of the gates. They were then notified that the team the council sent to Kalangar, the region of Kalangar, had not returned, and couriers had informed the council they had gone missing. The party then set off again to find the missing team, along with the magical Verovian gemstone, a quartz this time, and the gate in that region yet again. This is where we are now. So far, our party has been to the capital of Kalangar, Vinsk, a bustling city with tens of thousands of residents, only rivaled by the cities of Zorosos, Waterside, and Beros. Vinsk is a trading hub, the food capital of Voros, and the most common place for one to retire due to its generally calm history, although recently that claim is losing its credibility. The party learned about many things in here in Vinsk, such as the Shadow Veil, a seedy thieves guild that takes valuables, destroys property, and smuggles drugs called the Substance into the city and some surrounding areas, keeping the poor and high class alike addicted and paying coin for the stuff. They learned of Knoll tribes in the rolling hills and fields off the roads.
Gnoll.
Threatening lives of travelers and recently getting bolder each passing week, even stealing people from the smaller towns or to sacrifice or God knows what else.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Man, fuck those guys!
Our party has so far in Kalangar fought a hill giant of Grolantor and even banished a few devils from a town whose people had only recently returned to after seeking asylum outside the walls of Vinsk. Finally, though, The party had a lead on the missing adventurers. Fool's Bliss. They had seen posters and flyers advertising a carnival or festival being held in a town known as Aldwych.
Sandwich.
Most people nowadays call Aldwych Fool's Bliss, as anyone who goes there never returns. And only fools would go to such a, quote, blissful place, even when knowing full well the danger there. These posters seem to keep hanging themselves up every few days around the towns, after being constantly torn down, with no one knowing who keeps putting them up or why.
It's pretty frickin' magic.
And it was learned that these adventurers moved through the town of Stadiel and north towards Fool's Bliss. And that is where we start today. Our adventurers have made it to the east of Kalangar, to the town of Stadiel, where Adagio and Smelting Ball both had a laydown for another.
We fucked
with each other.
They didn't have sex. No, they didn't have sex. They fucked.
They did that with some women the night before.
Some, yes.
Wait till they personalize them.
And
then then Koresh went into sleep mode because he is a robot and therefore does not need to consume materials or rest.
I do not need to consume the pleasures of the flesh.
And he watched my breath.
Anyways.
Another girl wants to marry me.
Stadiel. So here's a little background. If Vinsk is known as the commoners' capital of Kalangar, then Stadiel is known as the adventurers' capital, with brothels, pubs, and temples around every corner. The players have also learned of a Colosseum here, which puts man against beast to determine the victor. The Colosseum also hosts poetry, song, and theater as well. With Fool's Bliss to the north, a small lead on where the Varovian quartz may be, and no sign yet of any teleportation gate that the quartz slots into, we will begin our adventure in episode 1. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up here?
I don't think my character and Derek's character, we never got to say what we use in battle, like weaponry.
Use magic, dude.
Shit like that. Yeah, you use magic. I use a bow and dual war axes because I'm a faggot and I like dual wielding weapons. And I have a grappling hook, like a Widowmaker kind of grappling hook.
I think next level I go in haste.
Yes. Koresh was able to get an augmentation into his robot self, which is a grappling hook in his arm.
I'm sorry, I just touched your toe a little bit there. With my toe.
That's fine. Someone's got to suck him.
So you said you just use magic, pretty much.
I have daggers, but I hardly ever use them.
Yeah, and our bard uses.
Oh, I'm also an alchemist.
And magic. Yes. Yeah. So what would?
He's also gas.
Yeah, Smelting Ball has a book of alchemy.
Master alchemist.
And is constantly reading up on how to make new potions.
He's always looking for new information, new experiences.
All right. Anything else?
And knowledge. And stealing from graves.
And
then bring it back.
Should we tell him about his?
Oh yes. Since you had been in contact with this creature that gave you powers, you've been steadily but slowly growing horns on your head.
Yeah.
And
that can only be visible during lack of light.
And to certain people.
And to this dude over here.
So during hiding in the shadows or in the nighttime and darkness in general, your horns are visible, and they are, to the people who can see them, they are corporeal in a way where you can feel them and you can, say, shift his head if you grab the horn and move it.
It's not fun.
It's not. And you might have an idea of why.
Because Ringdash is a bitch.
And the horns are more of a...
I talked to a god also, that was cool.
The horns are more of a goat-like, starting to curl backwards.
I talked to Haptakele, it was awesome. He told me that Ringdash is somewhere.
On that note, we will end. Thank you all for joining us. Episode 1 will be out in a week or two. And I hope you all have a nice day.